Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Okay, so my name is Ifunanya Chinedu-Eze, and I'm a final year pharmacy student and also the Director of Health at the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, University of Nigeria and Nsukka. So today, the topic we're going to be discussing is rising above stress and anxiety, a youth's guide to mental strength. So as we all know, as our spiritual health is as our spiritual part is important, even our health is important. So we want to take a look at what it means to, manage stress and anxiety even as a youth. So I would like to ask maybe a question, so you feel free to answer. Have you ever experienced stress or anxiety in recent times, let's say between now and last week? Have you experienced a stressful event? Well, as for me, I've been stressed these past few weeks because I've been writing some of my final year exams. So it has been a lot of stress for me. And the truth is, stress and anxiety, they are like very similar, but they are different. So the first question now is, what exactly is stress? So stress is like a normal temporary response to something you perceive as a threat or challenge. So stress can occur and still end, but for anxiety is more persistent. So, and there are triggers to stress, but for anxiety, there is no related trigger. For example, now, I'm stressed now because of the exams I'm writing. So the trigger for that stress is the exam that I'm writing. Once I'm done writing those exams, I'm no longer stressful again. But for anxiety, there might not necessarily be a trigger for it. I can just be anxious about something. I'm worried about things I cannot even control. Like something I know that, even if I try anything, there's nothing I can do, but I'm still worried about the things I can't control. That's when I become anxious. Do you understand? So for stress, we have a trigger. But for anxiety, there is no clear trigger to anxiety. And once the trigger for stress is out of the picture, the person is no longer stressful. Do you understand? Okay. So now, the question now is, what are the common triggers for stress? Like I said, academics, because I'm writing exams, peer pressure. Some of us, we are, as young people that we are, we see some of our mates doing different things, and then we begin to ask ourselves that, why can't I do this thing that this person is doing? This person is my age mate, he's making a lot of money, she's making a lot of money, but here I am, it's as if I'm not even growing, I'm not even moving. And you begin to pressure yourself. You don't know what these persons are actually doing, or the things that they do that you don't even know. You begin to put a lot of unnecessary pressure on yourself, forgetting that everybody's journey is different. So the moment you begin to put that kind of pressure on yourself, you could become stressed. And if care is not taken, it can lead to anxiety. Do you understand? So what are the root causes? You have unrealistic expectations. So because you heard that, one of your classmates started a business, and in less than 6 months, the person has made a couple of billions, and you now started your own business, and you set that kind of bar for yourself. That kind of thing is very unrealistic, because when you start something, you need to make your goals very tiny. Make them something you can achieve on a daily basis. You cannot just wake up and say, today I want to make, from this business, and I want to make sure I make 1 million naira. But you've not actually drafted out tiny actionable steps that you're going to take to achieve that goal. So once you set that unrealistic expectation for yourself, you put yourself under a lot of pressure. And that pressure will make you stressed out. And once you're stressed out, you might even end up becoming anxious about, what your future is going to look like, what your life is going to look like, and things like that. And this is not healthy for us, even as young people. Do we understand? Do we understand? This one was saying yes. I'm going to ask questions at the end, and I would like us to, participate. You don't need to be shy. You don't need to feel that, what I'm saying is not going to make sense. It's going to make sense. Don't be shy. You probably know yourselves here very well, so don't be shy. The ground is not going to open up and swallow you, okay? Are we together?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So now, we've already understood what stress is. We've understood what anxiety is and the triggers for these things. The next thing is mental strength. Since from the topic, we can see that we're trying to find out a youth's guide to mental strength. So what exactly is mental strength? Mental strength can also be called emotional resilience or mental toughness. So basically, it is the ability to productively manage your emotions, your thoughts and behaviors, even when you're facing adversity. So for mental strength, it's more like you might be facing some particular situations, but somehow you are able to control your emotions at that point so that you don't put yourself under stress. Because in this life, there are things that are out of your control. You need to, once you have a problem, you need to ask yourself, okay, what is this problem? And is this something I can fix? Are the solutions to this problem within my own control or outside my control? For things that are outside your control, you let it be. Because the moment you start worrying about the things that are outside your control, you begin to get stressed out. And if you're not careful, you get anxious. For the ones that are within your control, you start taking actionable steps to actually solve them. So people who are able to manage their emotions in challenging times, people who are able to define what the problem actually is and the ones they can fix and the ones they might need help fixing, these are people that have mental strength. These are people that are emotionally resilient. They do not allow their current situations to define the actions that they take in their day-to-day activities. Do you understand? Do you understand? So, and it's very important to know that mental strength does not mean you're suppressing those problems. Do you understand? It means that you've been able to identify what the problem is, and you've been able to draft out clear solutions to the problems that you can actually fix. And you've left the ones that are out of your control. You can come and be complaining, oh, this people have not brought light for a very long time. You don't have generator, fine. It is not your fault that maybe the transformer in your area is fault. It is out of your control to fix the transformer. The people responsible will come and fix it. So instead of worrying about how you have light and how you don't have light, you try to focus on other things that you can actually control. Do you understand? So now, we've understood what mental strength is. So how then do we rise above stress and anxiety as youth? So there are some techniques you can actually practice. Let's say you are stressed out, you're worried about something, you're anxious. Sometimes you can just, pause. Just stop whatever it is you're doing and, take deep breaths. Let's say something happened and you're really, really worried and you want to make a decision. So it's not healthy to make decisions on the spot when you're going through some particular emotion. So the first thing you want to do is to take a deep breath, just breathe in and breathe out. Practice deep breathing techniques. So you want to intentionally breathe in and breathe out until you feel relieved. Then another thing you'd want to try practicing is journaling. This is something I recommend very well. So journaling is more like writing. You can have a book where you write down things. You know that you're feeling somehow. Instead of just bottling those emotions, instead of bottling those feelings, you try to write it out. You can call it your personal diary or something, just to let out those emotions that have clouded your mind. You have to let it out. So you learn how to write, journal what really happened, things that happened about you. And one thing I've noticed about journaling is that once you write it out, it's as though you've poured out everything to a different place. And at that moment, you can easily think and even assess the situation around. Do you understand? Do you understand? Okay, so another thing you want to practice is time management. So a reason why we can be stressed or anxious, let's say as students now, maybe you are writing exams and you're feeling a lot of pressure and stress. Sometimes it could be because of poor time management skills. Let's say the semester started and for some reason you did not resume early, you were not going to classes, and your materials, lecture handouts were piling up, and the next thing, exam timetable is out. Everybody's preparing for exams. You've not read from the beginning of the semester. You want to read what they use 2 months to teach in 1 week. It's not possible. You are bound to break down. You're bound to feel stressed. You're even bound to feel anxious that, oh my goodness, what will happen if I fail this exam? A lot of thoughts will come to your mind. So the first thing you want to do is to practice good time management skills. So you know that your semester is starting now. So you start going to classes early, copy your notes, do your assignments, and allocate time for different things that you're doing. If you're supposed to be reading at a particular time, you note that time down. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So that way you're able to manage your activities and you don't have things that are clashing or, entering into each other's time. Do you understand? Do you understand? So once you're able to properly, manage your time, you will see that you have less things to worry about. Things like, you've not finished reading your books and you're writing an exam. It's not going to be a problem because you've read these things over and over again. The least you'd even have to do is to revise. And during an exam, instead of you doing what they call maybe till daybreak, you read from morning till the next morning before the exam, you find out you have time to actually rest, then read, rest and go and write your exams. Do you understand? Okay. So another thing you would want to also do is have a healthy lifestyle. There are some people that I know that they feel that sleeping is a problem. I don't know, there's this motivational quote that they will tell you that billionaires or millionaires, they don't sleep for a certain amount, they sleep for a certain amount of time, like less than 4 hours or so. But it doesn't make sense. It should be, statistics have shown that you're meant to get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep as a young adult. It is very important. So no matter how much you are chasing, no matter the bag you choose to chase, you must always prioritize your health, because na person where they alive go they chase bag. Do you understand? You cannot leave your sleep, like you say, oh, you don't want to sleep 24 hours, you're walking around the clock. At some point your body will tell you to sleep. Like, you will not even choose to sleep, you'll be forced to sleep because you will fall sick. And once you fall sick, you have to be in the hospital or you're at home resting, and it's not by choice at this time, because your body says, I cannot do this thing with you again. I don't follow you do this thing again. So you would have to rest. So it's important that you prioritize your sleep. Ensure you sleep for at least 6 hours in a day. It's not too much. If you finish your daily activities and let's say you choose to sleep by 10 p.m., from 10 to like 4 a.m. is already 6 hours. And some people don't even like waking up by 4. Some people prefer waking up around 6. So you imagine from 10 to 6, that's 8 hours. So that's a good amount of time for you to actually rest. So your body can prepare itself for the next day activities. Do you understand? So another thing you'd want to also incorporate is, exercise. You have to learn how to exercise daily. Train your body. Don't just, you wake up in the morning, your activities don't involve you trying to actively exercise. You wake up in the morning, you go to class, come back, sit down, eat, sleep. You're not even exercising. And it's not healthy, because some of these exercises actually help you to, de-stress. Imagine in the evening, just decide that, oh, I'm just going to take a 30 minutes walk from my house to this place. In that walk, the environment, the breeze that you're receiving is actually helping you to calm down a bit. If you were tense, sometimes I might be tense and I just decide that, let me just take a walk. That 30 minutes walk that I took is enough to even calm me down, and I'm no longer stressed about whatever it is I'm thinking about. Do you understand? Do you understand? Another thing you also want to do is to have a healthy diet. Like, always make sure you're eating well, you're drinking enough water, right? You want to make sure you're feeding your body properly. As much as you're trying to manage your time and do other things, you want to make sure you're also eating right. Eat, good enough fruits, vegetables, and drink enough water. Do you understand? Another thing you want to do as a youth to rise above stress and anxiety is to seek help. Like, if you need help, open your mouth and talk. And I'm going to focus on the guys now, because some people tell you that as man, you're not supposed they cry, or you're not supposed they talk about some kind of things as a guy. You're meant to be bottling up your emotions. But it's not true. If you're going through something, you don't need to tell everybody. You have somebody that you trust. There's always that one person that you can trust. You go to that person and talk to the person about it. Sometimes talking to somebody else about it can even provide a solution, or at least you feel better. You know that somebody hears you, somebody understands you, and somebody feels to an extent what you're feeling. Do you understand? So if you have a problem, please seek help. If there's something you're going through and you know that this thing is not something you can solve on your own, and you know somebody that is in that capacity to help you, and that person is emotionally intelligent enough to actually help you, please meet the person. This is why they say no man is an island. That is why we are together in a communal setting. You have people around you. You know people that you're close to. So if you need help, you seek help. Do you understand? So, and there are various people you can seek help from. Like in the church, you have, people you can actually meet in church. Maybe your youth leader, maybe the seminarian, the parish priest. It just depends. There are also, professionals that actually, like professional therapists, people that, also help other people. We have guidance and counselors in schools. So there are people available to help you. So make sure you utilize this opportunity. Don't, bottle your emotions and try to deal with it on your own. Do you understand? Do you understand? So another thing you can also incorporate as a youth, because this is a church setting, is to remember that you have God, right? He's our Father, and He cares so much about us. If He said that if He can take care of the birds in the universe, so how much more you? If He can take care of the lilies, how much more you, His own children? Like, He clothes the lilies, He takes care of the birds, then how much more you? He can also take care of you. Like, how much of your worrying can actually add to you? Nothing. Your worry will only add stress to you. Those things you're bothered about will only keep on adding stress to you. So that is why it's important to cast, your cares on the Lord. Those things that you're facing, those things that you're dealing with, that you feel that, you might not be able to talk to somebody about it, but you can always talk to God about it. That is why he said, cast your cares on me. He said, take my yoke upon me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Do you understand? So even if you say, in this whole world, nobody, but you know God, carry those problems to God in prayer. Go and drop it at his feet, and he is able to help you. He is willing to, take care of those problems for you. Do you understand? Do we understand? All right. From what we've said so far today, we can see that stress is something that has triggers. Stress has triggers, right? And once you take away those things that are triggering your stress, you will no longer be stressed again. But for anxiety, there is no clear trigger to anxiety. Anxiety is prolonged, while stress is more like a temporal situation. Like if I'm writing exams and I'm stressed because of my exams, once my exams end, I'm no longer stressed. But once I start thinking about the things that maybe I cannot control, thinking about my future, I'm worried about a lot of things or I'm scared of something. As long as that fear is still in me and there's no clear reason why I'm really scared, I will remain anxious. Do you understand? Do you understand? And it's important that if we are stressed, if we are undergoing stress or any anxious events, it's important we try to, practice deep breathing techniques. We should also journal, seek help. There are people around you who are willing to, be of assistance to you. So you just need to find out these persons and speak to them. Don't bottle your problems to yourself. As a guy, as a girl, please don't bottle your problems to yourself, especially the guys. I know they say that, the guys are not meant to be very emotional. They should not talk about their problems. But please, talk about your problems. Your strength does not lie in you bottling up, your problems. Talking about your problems does not make you a weak person. It even makes you a stronger person because you're able to identify those problems and you're vulnerable enough to talk about them to find a solution. Do you understand? Do you understand? So, it is also important to understand that God is also interested in each and every one of us. So if you have anything you need to talk about, you can always talk to God. If you feel that, there's still nobody to talk about, you can always talk to God about your problems because he cares for each and every one of us. So on a final note, I just want to remind you all that you're actually stronger than you think. So don't allow, stress or anxiety to, suffocate you. Do you understand? Do you understand? Yes. All right. I think with that, we call it a wrap. Thank you so much for your time.
As a student facing a lot of challenges, like pains or stress, can you just let your parents know about them? Someone told me that if you're facing challenges, you should not tell your parents anything.
Okay. As a student facing challenges, I believe you should be able to tell your parents about it. But we all come from different backgrounds, different homes. So I cannot say what I cannot really tell the kind of relationship. Okay, can you hear me? So I say as the normal thing to do is to tell your parents about, the problem. But then we all come from different backgrounds. We have been shaped by different things. So I cannot say what the relationship you have with your parents is actually like. But you should be able to talk to somebody, even if you're not close to your parents, maybe due to one reason or the other, something that might have happened at home that we don't know about. But you still know that there's that one person that you can always talk to. Then you can always call that person and talk to the person about it. But the right thing to do is that if you have a problem that you feel your parents can be able to handle, you speak to them about it. If you think they can't handle it or they are going to overreact, but you know somebody that, will not judge you and will still deal with the problem, then reach out to that person, okay? Is that fine? Yeah. Thank you.
So the next question is, what can someone do to avoid being late to any occasion or to gatherings like this one and also keeping to time? This person is asking about punctuality.
For things like this, it's just time management, right? If you want to be punctual to events, they tell you that, okay, this event is going to start by, let's say, 9 a.m. Okay, can you hear me? They will tell you that, oh, this event is going to start by 9 a.m. You know where you're living. You know the distance of your house to that place. If you're going to take like maybe a public transport, you know how long it's going to take you to get to that place. So the most important thing is to start planning your day before that event. So what, like for me now as a student, I know that from Mondays to Fridays I go to classes, and I have to prepare my uniforms for the week. So on Sunday evening, I've ironed all my uniforms, all my lab coats, and prepared everything, arranged my books. So that once I'm waking up by 6 a.m., between 6 to 7:30, I'm done preparing for school because I have planned ahead of the day. So before that event, you want to plan ahead. Are there things you will need for the event? You plan it before the event, not on the day of the event. They tell you that, oh, this event is by 9 a.m. You wake up by 6 a.m. and for some reasons you don't even have your clothes ready, but you feel that you'll be able to do all the things you need to do and still get ready. The most important thing is you plan ahead. Proper time management. You plan for the events the day before. That's the safest thing to do so you can be punctual, okay? Do you understand?
Auntie Ifunanya, another question. You said we should not engage in so much exercise. We should not engage in so much exercise. Like now, I'm fat and I want to burn some fat. And I was advised to engage on continuous exercise. How will I do it not to be stressed out and at the same time, like how will I do it and reduce stress and at the same time still reduce my weight? Something like that. Thank you.
I did not say you should not engage in too much exercise. I actually encouraged, exercise because it's very beneficial to our health as, young people. So for someone who is trying to, lose weight, it's important you engage in exercises. There are different types of exercise. There are some people that they like this. You can choose to skip, you can choose to, jog, you can choose to run. So you just find out what works for you and what you're comfortable doing. You don't start with the hardest exercise. There are different types of exercise. Some of them are very hard, so you want to take it step by step. You're a beginner, so you might choose to start with 30 minutes walk every day. Then you can now add skipping to it. You can now add jogging, from jogging to running, before you start doing the other types of exercise. If you go to YouTube, there are different exercises, so you can just type exercise for loss of belly fat or weight, something like that. You see different exercise routines that you can actually follow, and these things come with step-by-step processes, so they will tell you what to do. So you don't need to start lifting heavy blocks because you want to lose weight. Just find out the simple things that works for you and start taking them step by step. Do you understand? All right.
Then the next question, what is the solution for mental stress?
Okay, the solution for mental stress, like I said, is we all get stressed. It is normal to get stressed, but then the most important thing is how to manage it. So the first thing is to identify what exactly is causing you to be stressed. Is it something that you can control? If it's something that you can control, then you start outlining steps to actually reduce the stress. Let's say maybe it's because of your academics is stressing you out. To find out what's the reason for me to get, why am I getting stressed out because of these academics? You find out, okay, maybe I'm not sleeping properly as a student, or I'm not actually planning my time properly. Instead of, you know that as a student, the highest you can go at length when you're reading is maybe 1 hour. But for some reasons, you want to read 6 hours at a stretch. That's not the right thing to do. The best thing to do is that, okay, you know that if I read for 1 hour, I will not be stressed. But while reading for that 1 hour, you want to take breaks in between. So you can set a timer for yourself. Maybe after 30 minutes, you take a break, like 10 minutes break, to try to rest, drink water. You continue for the next 30 minutes, take another 10 minutes break. So that way, you're not stressed when you're reading your books. Do you understand? Do you understand?
We are still in our question and answer session. If you have anything that you're worried about, anything that you want to ask them, you can write it down or you can be vocal about it by just raising up your hand. So the next question is, in a situation where you find it difficult to express yourself and you're very anxious and writing doesn't seem to help, just constant fear, the constant fear seems not to leave you, what can you do to feel better?
Okay, there are different ways to feel better in this situation. It depends on your personality. For some people, they'll first cry, and it's very okay to cry. If you feel very overwhelmed, sometimes just cry, like pour everything out. You cannot write, you cannot talk, then just cry. Once you cry, you sleep. When you sleep, if you've not eaten, you eat. When you like when you finish crying, you eat, you sleep, and you wake up. Sometimes when you wake up, you realize that there's no problem. Maybe it's because you're hungry, number one. Then if it's after sleeping and you've woken up, then you now ask yourself what exactly was the problem. Sometimes you'll be able to think better once you've slept over that issue. Then you'll be able to find, okay, this is what the problem is, and this is what I can do to resolve the problem. Sometimes you might need to actually end up talking to somebody, or you pray about it. Do you understand?
Okay, no, you're not done. Okay, can pressing our phone reduce anxiety?
Can pressing a phone reduce anxiety? It depends, because these our phones can be it can be a useful tool. It can also be like a dangerous tool depending on how well you use it. So sometimes you might be stressed and you can decide to play music, listen to music, and it will calm you down, because music is like therapy, right? So you can listen to music and calm yourself down. For some people, I've met some people, they tell you that the only way they can distress is to watch a movie. So once they are stressed out, they are overwhelmed, they just watch a movie, and after watching that movie, it's as if everything becomes better. So your phone can actually be a useful tool, but it just depends on how you use it. It's not by, sometimes if you're pressing phone too much, you start having headache because you've had like what they call excess screen time. So your eyes will start turning, you start having a headache, and it will be adding to your stress. So you need to understand how to use your phone. If it's just listening to music, you just maybe plug in your earpiece or play music in the background, like calm music, so that you can actually calm yourself down. Or you can just watch a really nice and happy ending movie, so that you'll be fine. Do you understand?
What causes heart attack? What are the what service that cause heart attacks?
Okay, this one is no longer mental health. This one is now cardiovascular health. So heart attack can be caused by, I'm looking for the best way to put it now. So there are some people that maybe there are things that have clogged the arteries. That there are vessels that pump blood to the heart. So if those vessels are clogged by if they are already clogged and blocked, that means blood cannot flow properly to the heart. And once there is, for any reason, blood is not flowing to the heart properly, that is where you now start having things like heart attack or cardiac arrest. So it's just when there is no proper blood flow to the heart. Do you understand? Okay, thank you.